Hello everyone, Masofdas here, and I'm talking about some retro video games, and actually some are slightly newer retro, so not like N64 or anything like that, or Super Nintendo. I've seen a couple YouTube channels now do it. I don't know if it's currently the thing to do, and channels are doing their people are doing like their top 5 rarest games. I've seen, obviously I've watched some of these videos myself, that's why I'm doing this video. And there's no like consoles in there, there's no like amiibo, because obviously this one isn't, but some amiibo are now worth quite a few quid. There's no limited editions because they're supposed to be limited, they're supposed to be rare, and there's no like limited run or fan gamer games and stuff, again because they're meant to be limited. So it's more like regular games, like you could have walked into Game or GameSpot or Stop, I should say, back in the day, got these off the shelf, paid you 40 quid or whatever they were, and just regular game, and obviously they've gone up in value, and that's also the thing. They're supposed to be, all these videos are the top 5 rarest games, but it's not really, it's the top 5 most valuable games, really. Like I said, I've got a couple limited run type games for the Vita. Obviously they would have a smaller print than at least my 5th game on here, but they are worth less than these 5, so it's not, like I said, it's a bit of a weird one. And I have obviously some limited editions, like the Breath of the Wild limited edition on Switch is quite expensive now. Again, that mostly actually had a quite large print, even though it is quite valuable now. So these are just, like I said, regular games. Could have bought them, for your 40-50 quid, walked into Game, or back in the day, got them off Amazon. No like special way of getting them, and that. So we'll start with my number 5, and that is Minish Cap on the Game Boy Advance. I've got it in the protective case. It's got obviously all the manuals and stuff like that in here. Minish Cap's like, I really love Minish Cap. It's actually my favourite 2D Zelda. A bit like Wind Waker, if you've ever watched any of the videos on my channel, or when me and Dave did stuff on his channel before Pod of War, or we followed me on Twitter or whatever, Wind Waker's my favourite Zelda. It's like my second favourite game of all time, but it was the first Zelda I played. So I get some people go, what is your favourite because it's your first play? Things like Final Fantasy 9, etc. So I don't know if this is just my favourite because it's like the first 2D Zelda I played, and played it after Wind Waker, played on the GameCube through the GBA player and all that good stuff. But yes, I really like that. And this is obviously why this is valuable, because obviously mine is complete embossed. It's minty. I've got mine in protective case, but with the manual and stuff like that. So it is like my own 5th rarest. Like I said, it's more value. But if you just find a cart only games, something, then it would be way cheaper than this. So this is more like, this is what a collector sort of would be looking for, like this sort of condition, and that's when you'd be paying like the more money for it. So that's number 5. And you'll see a theme of this is very Nintendo heavy, and it is very one console heavy, and it's actually my favourite console as well. And it's my favourite console because of games like this, and this is number 4, and that's Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. Again, a bit like Wind Waker, a bit more Minish Cap. This is my first Paper Mario game. I've played other ones since. I've played the N64 one as well since this. Really good. It hasn't been topped. It's better than the first one, which you'd hope from a sequel, but again, this hasn't been topped, so I say that it's not sequels. Again, it's one of those ones where mine is complete with manual. It's pretty minty, so again, that's why the value is up on it. And this is the thing, this game and like Minish Cap aren't rare games in terms of how many were made. Like I said, I own limited run type games where they've only had like 1,000 or 10,000 printed. Well, there would have been way more than 10,000 of this printed, again across this is a European one, across all of Europe, etc. at least their net known thing. But that's the weird thing. People want these games, and the difference between this and Minish Cap and the others on this is Minish Cap has been available elsewhere. It's on the Virtual Console on Wii U. I believe it's on the Wii U Virtual Console. I think that's the only two places you get it. It's GBA and Wii U Virtual Console. I might be wrong, but Paper Mario is stuck on the GameCube. Obviously, that's not always the case with games with their value. Like Symphony of the Night, I don't own it, but we all know that's still a really valuable PS1 game, even though it's been released multiple times since. But because this, I believe, because this is stuck on the GameCube, it's not on the Switch or anything like that. It has got a value because people want to have to go there to get it. And then even if it did come to Switch, maybe it may even go up more in value because people will play it on the Switch and go, oh, I want it original, or highlight it a bit more for collectors. But yeah, so that one. And then sticking with the GameCube is my next one, and that's Pokemon XD Gate of Darkness. I've not played this. Obviously, I've played those two, finished them, love them. Not played this. It's one I missed when it came out, because I believe it came out in 2005. It says 2005 copyright on here. And if it was late 2005, I most probably would have just bought my 360 or been looking towards a 360. So I most probably is like, nah, I'm not spending 40 quid on the GameCube game where, I got my 360 coming. That sort of thing. So that's most probably why I missed it when it came out. Again, you got a nice box, manual, and stuff thing. I don't know if I've got the original receipt here, how much I paid for it. No, I don't. Yeah, so Colosseum, the one before this, I really enjoy Colosseum, where obviously you start with the two Umbreon and Espeon. Really cool, because Eevee is my favourite Pokemon. Obviously Eevee is the start, I believe, in this one, and obviously Evolutions is a great thing. I really do want to play this sometime. It's just trying to get to it. It's like, nah, it's one game in my collection. I will get to it at some point. Just where maybe it's something I put on the backlog challenge for next year, or it's something again. I would love to see GameCube games come to the Switch. Like, I know it sounds daft. Like, I would buy GameCube games on the Switch. I know you have the online thing, but if I could just play this much easier, pay like 15-20 quid for it on the Switch, just play it there in HD, like remastered, or not even fully remastered, just looking a bit better on there, I would definitely play it. And then sticking to the GameCube, and I thought this was actually going to be my most valuable game, but it's not. It's actually number 2, and that is Fire Emblem Path of Radiance. Again, like XD and Paper Mario, it is only on GameCube, stuck on the GameCube. I paid quite a bit for this. It's one of the most expensive games I've bought that isn't like a collector's edition at launch. So like, I remember buying like the Halo 3 Legendary Edition. Obviously that was quite a few bob. I believe I paid 145 for this with Link's one of Gambler, the Link one of the free CDI games. So I bought them both together, sort of thing. Like, I managed. Basically, I think I basically got the Zelda game for free. I think they wanted 145, and the guy did a deal because I, went to his retro shop quite often while it was open. So I paid quite a lot of money for this. So I don't even want to say it's 145 for this, and I got free Zelda, or like 25 quid for Zelda, and paid 125 for this, something like that. You can make up your mind how much I actually pay for this. Again, really minty. Manual, nice collector's, piece. I even got the VIP things on this. I don't even know if that's like I got everything on here. I got like a little poster showing Downstage Mario coming soon thing. XD was a 2005 release, so late GameCube game as well. I think that's also why these are valuable, because they're late GameCube games. Like, I remember it was hard to find GameCube games anyway. I remember having half the pre-order Tales of Vesperia, or Tales of Symphonia, or I wouldn't have got it because game weren't going to get it in because it was a GameCube game, but people just PlayStation 2 and even Xbox. Considering the Xbox install base, how how that had so much more shelf space than like the GameCube, they weren't getting in. So I can see why it would be rare. There wouldn't be many about. It was a late thing. Fire Emblem wasn't really a series in the West either. There was obviously the ones on the Game Boy Advance. This is my thing. It's where the first Fire Emblem I played was Awakening on 3DS, and then gone back. And then when I saw this, and like I said, there's all the deal, knew it's rare. And even though I feel like I paid like 125, 145 quid for it, this game is now like 220 quid. So even though it sounds like I paid quite a lot of money, and it was quite a lot of money when I bought it, and it wasn't even that long ago, maybe like 5 years ago, because I'm trying to think how long that retro shop has been closed. It closed during the pandemic and stuff like that, so and it was before that, so like 4 or 5 years ago, and now it's like almost doubled in value. GameCube games, going up and up and up. Like Paper Mario is, like I said, it's not a rare game, but it's a very valuable game, because that's the thing. We've got 3 GameCube games on this list of my top 5. My GameCube collection is probably the most valuable collection I've got, per game sort of thing. Like I have a bigger Dreamcast collection, but there's going to be stuff that bring down the value if you're doing it per game basis. But yeah, I've played a little bit of this. I think I've done like 3 or 4 chapters. Going from like Awakening, Fates, and that to this, there's obviously the changes. Like permadeath is on, I think, regardless, if I remember correctly, on this, compared to like them, where you can turn that off and stuff like that, which I actually personally do. I play the game in like normal but permadeath off sort of thing, where I guess I could try it the other way, doing like casual but permadeath on or something, but I think it's just because even playing it on normal, I don't die like that often, so I think I could even turn permadeath on. Apparently it will connect to the Game Boy Advance. I presume that, I don't know what that unlocks if you connect with one of them, because I don't know the Game Boy Advance ones, which are again very expensive games. So yeah, so 3 GameCube games and 1 GBA game, very Nintendo heavy. But the last one is not Nintendo, it's actually Sega, and I'm surprised it was my number 1. The reason I'm surprised it is my number 1, like Rarest or most valuable game, Bond, like a limited edition, or like I said, an Amiibo or special edition console, because like my PS4 Pro is actually like the most valuable thing I own according to price charting. Yes, even more than my Series X, because it's the Last of Us edition, and that sort of thing. The reason why I was surprised this was number 1, because I do not have a complete in box. So, obviously all them are complete in boxed, all minty collectors, like standard. You could get top dollar. This you wouldn't get top dollar for, because it's not complete. I am missing the manual for this game. Again, that's why I got it quite cheap. I paid 90 for this, which again sounds quite a lot of money, but it is now, well, like I said, more expensive than Fire Emblem. That's like a 200 quid game, so you're looking at 225, 230. Complete in box ones, like only going for like slightly more, and then you get into like sealed ones and graded and all that stuff, top money. And that is Evolution 2, the Far Off Promise for the Dreamcast. So this is really, again, this is also the thing, it's a pattern, apart from maybe Paper Mario Minish Cap, a late Dreamcast game. I believe this is 2001, yes, 2001, it's one of the very last Dreamcast games. It's an RPG, it's more of a dungeon called an RPG, but Dreamcast, again, didn't have many RPGs on it. That's also something I find, if a console hasn't got a lot of a genre, the games of that genre normally hold a high value. Like, look at the N64, like the RPGs that are on it, which aren't many, there are, there are quite a few, quid. And even like the original Xbox, like the few Japanese games, like the Otogi games, are like 45, 50 quid, which compared to obviously this is not very expensive, but compared to the rest of the original Xbox, is because there's not that many that sort of game on the system. I think that's the case with this. Not many RPGs on the system beyond, you know, like Skies of Arcadia and stuff like that, which I thought might have made this, especially the GameCube version, but didn't. Yeah, so this is like, you're looking at 220 plus, and like I said, it's got all the inserts and everything. It's got, you know, hasn't got a damaged case, but I am missing the manual. And that's how I managed to get it for 90. I think I bought it in, is it Super Tomato in Cardiff? Again, because I had no manual. But now it's like over doubled its value. But that was like 10 years ago I bought this, so, you know, inflation and all that good stuff as well. It has sort of been re-released, like the others haven't, apart from Minish Cap with Virtual Console. It is in like a weird hodgepodge version on the GameCube called Evolution Worlds, which is the two Evolution games like merged together. It is mainly two, that like hodgepodge, but has got one. A lot of the one I believe is cutscenes. It's a GameCube game that I actually don't own, surprisingly. So it has sort of been re-released. It's not been stuck on the Dreamcast. And it was a PC release, so maybe you can still play it on PC as well. If you've got an older PC, which I know I'm not huge into PC gaming, but I know like when I watch videos like Metal Jesus Rock, they have like a Windows 98 PC to play older PC games. So yeah, you could play it on PC, but it isn't on modern hardware, and like I said, it isn't on anything beyond Dreamcast, GameCube era, so that generation, so no PS3, no 360, not on current PC. I don't even know who would own the rights to it now, if it would still be Ubisoft or someone else. Yeah, so I thought it would make my top 5, but I was surprised due to the lack of manual. I didn't think it would be number 1. I thought, you know, you look at Minish Cap, it's only on my top 5 because it's complete in boxed. This is why I didn't think this would be number 1, but yeah, it is. And then if I found the manual, it didn't actually add that much to it, but it would add a little bit more. So that is my top 5 most valuable games. So, what's yours? Is there anything you thought I would have owned, would have been on this? Anything you surprised? Like, Four Swords also nearly made the list. Twilight Princess GameCube isn't, you know, that expensive. It is expensive for what it is, because you can get it quite cheap on like Wii, but isn't close to these sort of 5 games. So anyway, I've been Masofdas, and I'll see you again.